I see we have people from the UK, French and Chile, Croatia, Sweden, Dubai, France, Finland, Austria, Estonia, Germany, Hawaii, the Netherlands. I mean, wow, we have people calling in from all around the world. So we're going to go ahead and kick this thing off. I see Memphis, Tennessee. Awesome. So glad to have you here. So let's go ahead and let's get right into it. We're going to take a look at the market, see what's been going on. I can tell you some of the firsthand things when we're going to go review the market this week is let's go ahead and take a look at our one pair accounts we're running here. If you're brand new and you're tuning in here, the first thing we're showing right now is going to be our swing accounts. And when I say a swing account, this is some of our earlier entry settings. I'll pull up a display in a minute to give a visual on this, but what swing is going to be the earliest we're going to enter a trade on any of these currency pairs with the least precise setup or accuracy, right? Which means we get into trades sooner than later. Now, for me, these are all small $500 accounts that I'm running individually on each pair because I wanted to see how they performed on each single currency pair, what was going on. And what you'll notice is some pairs have not returned as much gain as they've produced risk, right? You'll notice that some of those pairs as well, maybe swing settings are a little too early entry for them. The reason I do this is to allow people to take a look at this data weekly and kind of go, okay, swing settings maybe way too risky on NZD JPY, even maybe sniper too risky. Maybe we're going to go super sniper on this currency pair specifically, or maybe you took a look at AUD USD or AUD USD and you said the same thing and said, okay, that one currency pair by itself got this $500 account and 34% drawdown. Maybe swing settings are still a little too early entry. Maybe we need to go up to sniper, super, and wait for a more precise entry in some of these pairs, which would also return less drawdown and more profit. And really the key in looking at this weekly is to kind of help you make your best informative decision on how you want to run your software. And right, swing, as you can see, inherently is going to have more risk. It's getting into trade sooner. It has that effect. Now you can see some of these pairs have done extremely well even through all of it. GBP NZD is in specifically doing incredibly well through all of the conditions and the market events with swing settings. Now, again, GBP NZD, if we go down to it, has experienced a 14% drawdown, but on a $500 account, it's up 29%, right? That's pretty incredible. It's been doing its thing. It's caught 1,450 positive pips just on GBP NZD using the swing strategy. So, things like that are also impressive. And it's really important to look at the data and see how things are performing. Now, one thing I can tell you is I've seen some users that have come in the past 2 weeks and they're making great profit. Well, I've seen some users like myself who maybe have some accounts that we're still stuck in a little bit of drawdown, or even I even saw a stop loss on one of my accounts, and this was actually a GBP NZD level 7 trade. What was the mistake there? I'll tell you, number one, and why this loss occurred on one of my accounts is GBP NZD took a level 7 stop loss. It went 500 pips even after hitting a level 7 and hit a stop loss. But I did not allow that account to take trades above Gears 8, meaning level 7 was the max. For in the next update we're rolling out tonight of the GearBox Manager, every single GBP and Euro AUD pair has its max gear set to 12. To allow more cost averaging attempts, especially when you get into a larger move, even at a more precise entry, which would have addressed this and, mitigated that entire small loss I had on one account on a GBP NZD trade that hit a stop loss. Other than that, though, you'll notice that I've been stuck on many of these accounts in some drawdown. Some of them have been kind of just floating around. Some of them are doing their thing, getting out. But I want to take a look at a few accounts in specifically and show you, kind of what I'm seeing so that you guys can also make your most informative decisions. Now, I know, again, some users that have come in the past 2 weeks, you're just making profit right now. You haven't gotten stuck in drawdown. You haven't gotten stuck in a trend. Whereas I know some people that have been running GearBox since inception when we first launched it here in Auvoria Prime, they might be having a similar experience to how my larger account's having right now, where you might be stuck in an NZD JPY trade. Right now, if you've gone and looked at a chart, you know this is an inevitable swing, and you've already pretty much withstood the majority of that move, right? Unless something serious is to break out in regards to that currency. I'm perfectly content with my risk management and where GearBox is sitting on all my accounts right now. But again, this is the highest drawdown I have incurred on this account, as I got stuck in an NZD JPY move. Now, I want to look at this move, and I want to make a comment. I've been in this trade for a month now. It has been a month since I got started in this NZD JPY trade. What I can tell you is there was a time where NZD JPY was in floating profit, where I could have closed these trades out manually, or had I been using double take profit, they would have closed out. On these accounts, I run Ghost plus Real trading strategy, which means that I'm inevitably going to stay in a trade longer, right? My average trade length says that. Whereas a real double or a double TP, typically you're going to get in and out of trades a lot sooner. And I would have actually been out of this trade a long time ago, never incurred as high of a drawdown. So again, Ghost plus Real, I've always said, is also a more hands-on strategy. Is there are times you might want to close manually, and there might be times where you let it run and do its thing. I know that when this swings, I'm going to make a large chunk of money, so I'm perfectly okay with the risk that's currently at risk here right now in open trades on that account. That's perfectly fine with me. But the point is, some people have slower risk tolerances. Maybe you don't want to see a drawdown like this. I don't really like seeing a drawdown like this myself, but when the market goes crazy, I'm okay with it. I can stomach that. Can you stomach more than that? Maybe not. Depends who you are, what your risk management is. Now you'll see some accounts that, and I've told many of you on previous calls, the reason I'm such a big fan of the max pairs feature, meaning because all these accounts look different, right? And what I mean by that is every account's taking different trades. I'm not in NZD JPY on this account, and I'm allowing 6 max pairs trading, but I never got stuck in that trade. Therefore, I'm not incurring that risk right now, and this account still has had a lower drawdown, even trading double the amount of max pairs, because it didn't get in that move. So why I love the max pairs feature is, again, you're offsetting some of your risk, as well as there might be times you miss that one move that was no good, or maybe you miss a move that was good, but you make money on the others. It's inherently just kind of a lower risk strategy to not trade all of the pairs at once, and to only limit your amount of pairs you're willing to trade at one single time, with this strategy, that is. There's other strategies and other softwares where you can trade all the pairs if you have a large enough balance, but with this software and this strategy, the best thing is mitigating how many maximum pairs you're ever taking trades on, while it still continues to scan for entries on other ones, so that when you do get out of a trade, you can get into the next good trade that is available. But this account, super cool to show you guys. We're about to break 100% on it. It's been trading since June. We did turn it off for pretty much all of July, and I think it was on for a week of August. You can see the months where it's actually been on, and it's been crushing it. And you can see in December, though, it hasn't closed much profit yet either. It has also kind of been just stuck in this little bit of drawdown. It's not a lot of drawdown, but again, it's also been stuck in some moves that have been consolidated, where we're just waiting on swings. You see this trade as well was opened a month ago, NZD CHF. I've just been hanging out in this consolidated trade here. That trade's literally been lingering for over a month. So you can see that there are scenarios where you're going to get into trades that they might take a month to play out. And sometimes you might look at this, like I might look at this and go, okay, this is a $30 loss on an account that's up $1,945. Maybe you want to take that and just get into the next pair. You're like, I'm tired of this pair. I've been in it for a month. Maybe I'm just going to close it, right? If the loss is minimal compared to the profit you've made, sometimes it's best to just close out a pair you've been stuck in consolidation for a long time. But again, also the same time you close it out could be the same time Monday morning it swings finally and would have made you a few percent, right? So it's all personal preference, but the point is to look at the data and kind of show you some people have been in some lingering trades for some weeks. I've noticed it. We're going to continue to go in here and look at this. This is a swing account. This account as well has this week experienced its highest drawdown. It had previously only ever been in a 16% drawdown. Now, keep in mind, it is a swing account. We did touch on swing being the earliest entry settings that exist by default for these pairs. It is inherently a riskier strategy as well. Not only are we using swing, we are also allowing 6 max pairs trading. The conservative setting is more along the lines of 3 for a balance of this size. So with 6 trading and using swing settings, which are earlier entry, you could consider this a borderline, potentially aggressive account or moderate, whatever you want to label it. It depends on your risk tolerance. To an extra conservative person, this might be an aggressive account. To someone who has a little more risk tolerance, this could be a moderate account. But the point is, this account is up, 75%, an actual absolute gain of 63 here. This account has almost made its initial, has withdrawn 900 euros of its 1,500 euro deposit, and is still keeping its profit factor higher. The thing about swing settings, though, is your average loss is typically going to be more than your average win. Whereas when you study the analytics of, say, a sniper account, you're going to notice that your average win is typically always going to be more than your average loss. And they deliver similar returns. In fact, the swing account, I think, is delivering just a little bit less than that sniper was with, all the same settings. And it even has taken less trades, right? So if we go back and look at that, same thing, 6 max pairs trading. Both accounts have been running for similar times. One's had about a month on it, right? But you can see the sniper is making more progress with less drawdown. It's taken less trades, more profitable pips, has had a lower average loss and a higher average win. Now the swing is entertaining somebody that wants to see more trades. It's taken more trades by far. You can see that right there. It's taken almost 100 more trades, but it's caught less positive pips because there's also the trades that are negative, where you see that right here, the profitability of 77%. There's more losers here in swing than there is in sniper, where in sniper you see our profitability is more along the lines of 87% here in our higher profit factor. So again, it all depends on your risk tolerance. Swing's going to take more trades. It's going to be more active for somebody who wants to see more trades being taken on their account. But as we continue to see week by week, sniper is going to make the most sense for somebody who wants less risk. Now, here's another account. It actually made it out of drawdown. It was super incredible to see. It got into a higher drawdown than it had been in before as well. And it was able to make it out of that this week. It was in some GBP stuff, and it actually made it out of all of those trades, which was pretty cool. You can see it got stuck in a rather large swing move on GBP, but it ended up making it out of that and profiting, which was super awesome to see. And like, when GearBox does what it does, it'll get you out. As long as you're running proper risk settings, you shouldn't have to really worry too much about major market movements with the risk settings program the way they are. Now, I'm going to go back to these one pair accounts, and then I want to get into talking a little bit about the update we're rolling out today. There's some new features. They're very minuscule, but there's some updates to GearBox, and I'm going to answer some questions in case people have some questions about things going on. And as I mentioned, if you've been using GearBox for over a month, chances are you might be in some drawdown right now. If you have gotten started in the past 2 weeks, chances are you're on the other end of this line freaking out, telling me how much profit you've made. And that's awesome, right? And the biggest thing I can tell you with GearBox is I need to set your expectations right. You're going to have weeks you hit home runs. You're going to have weeks where you're stuck in trades. Just know that GearBox is a month-to-month, more long-term product and strategy, meaning that, not every week's going to be a home run. There's going to be weeks where you don't even take a trade. Then there's going to be weeks where you take a ton of trades and make a ton of money. And there's going to be weeks where you take a bunch of trades, but you just get stuck in consolidation and you're stuck in drawdown. So the point is to understand the strategy, understand GearBox is a more long-term strategy. It's looking for larger moves in the market. It's playing with what I would consider to be a more institutional trading strategy, looking for those larger plays that could take a few days to even a month to play out sometimes. But ultimately it knows what it's doing. Now, I'm going to get into the chat here as I want to address some things. And I want to get into the Q&A as well. So let me open up. I opened up the chats here. So I'm going to read. I saw somebody asked here. I don't want to butcher your name, but I believe it's Jahanzeb. Jahanzeb asked how he can become a beta tester. Jahanzeb, currently beta testers, no way to apply to become one. But we often are looking for people all the time that are very analytical and can provide great feedback. If you are somebody standing out in the community and you come and you're very analytical and you provide a lot of data with me, that's always possible, right? We love analytical people who are very hands-on and have a lot of value to provide as well in the development side. So, anyone on the call, maybe you have some value or some ideas, feel free to always bring them to me. Mariska said, yep, about 33% drawdown on the account with NZD JPY on my account. All 6 pairs will go over the weekend, but once those swings happen, cha-ching. And Mariska, you said it, and yeah, with 6 pairs open and NZD JPY, I can imagine that sounds right about on point for that. That makes a lot of sense. Ken said, increased pairs or lot size in your opinion? So Ken, this is a great question. And the reason I want to address this is we have different products within Auvoria Prime, and all of them have different pros and cons to, their strategies and what, someone's risk appetite. And sometimes people will mix up how one developer runs their strategy with how somebody else wants to run theirs. And what I mean by that is I stick to running 3 to 6 max pairs, no matter what, with this strategy, and just increasing the lot size. Now, I do know that with other products such as Variable that Dasan has said, hey, instead of increasing your lot size, add more pairs, up to a $22,000 balance, basically, before you would, even think about starting to increase a lot size on any of those accounts, right? So the reason I'm going to tell you that I stick to 3 to 6 max pairs is one of those things I showed you here is I have some accounts in NZD JPY drawdown. I have others that they're making profit and they're not in that drawdown, right? So by limiting the maximum amount of pairs I'm trading, I'm also limiting my potential exposure to all market moves. And for me in this strategy, I enjoy that and I like that because you get to take the larger positions on the pairs that you do enter, meaning you can secure your profit, but you also aren't increasing inherently your risk to more trades. Now, again, you could also take the other route. I haven't played with it as much, but you could take the route of sticking to a 0.01 lot size and say running a large account with all pairs trading. Now, if you were going to do that, I can tell you I have been running a swing account, 100K demo swing account, Ken. I've been running it. I'm going to connect it to my FX book shortly. It's been actually running for the past 6, maybe 7 weeks. And it is trading all 25 pairs at swing entries, but on a 0.01 lot size. What I can tell you is that $100,000 account is up almost $800, and it's currently in $1,000 drawdown. So yes, it's with a 0.01 lot size, and obviously the lot size isn't would not be that small on an account of that size. But the point is to collect the data and just kind of see, what's going on and what pairs are trading no matter what. So I can tell you can do that. It is a strategy. Just for my ideology and my thought process, I explained why I like the max pairs feature, because again, it does limit also my exposure to all of my accounts being in the same moves. If one pair has a bad move, such as NZD JPY, right? Now all of my accounts aren't experiencing the same, where, if you're running it like that, technically most of your accounts would be. experiencing a very similar effect. Ivan asked here, do you ever close trades manually when using sniper strategy? Do you have setting clear ghost trades every week on? Ivan, yes, I close trades manually occasionally with Ghost plus Real, not just with sniper strategy, with Ghost plus Real. If you're using a double take profit strategy, I would never really close a trade manually unless you just want to. But with Ghost plus Real, I typically will close out trades if they're near their take profit within 10 to 15 pips and they're just in floating profit and I'm just ready to get out of them, right? Like, for example, if NZD JPY even went in $1 profit right now, I'd probably close it if it was just like I was just looking at it and saw that. I'd be like, all right, I'm out. But that's at this point where also if I don't look at it and it swings and hits its take profit, I'm going to be a very happy person. So it all is on personal preference. Deshaun, great question. He said, when will the 300 pip take profits be solved? Deshaun, they were actually solved. The take profits you're seeing might be ones that were from a previous version that were taken before 9983, which is the current version you're on now. So if those trades were taken before this week that started on Monday or Sunday, then that is from an old version. It's already resolved in 9983. Now, what I can tell you is we are pushing out a GearBox update tonight to 9988. And there are a few things that we address in that. And I'm, it's going to make me sign in to look at this Google Doc real quick. I want to type up what is actually being done here. So you guys are going to get access to the 9988 update tonight for GearBox. You're also going to get update to the GearBox manager. I believe we're on 0.74 or something like that. So the update to GearBox, the first thing is there's a few things that we've addressed in the 998 update. I'm going to just read you through this, and I want to tell you guys what's being changed. So first thing is the DD notification only will send one time per currency pair. No more spamming of DD notification when over 10%. All right, that's the first thing. The second thing is real trades TP was fixed. The third thing, Deshaun, you'll like this. You said, when will these 300 pip take profits be fixed? Well, they were fixed in 9983, but the problem is that it would not, sometimes it didn't update old trades. So in the 9983 or 9988 update we're releasing tonight, anytime you change the TP setting, it will automatically change all TPs on that open sequence. This is a very cool feature. So this means, let's say you're running double TP and you look and you go to your trade and you go, you know, actually, I think this thing is going to run a lot farther. You might switch that currency pair to Ghost plus Real, and before it wouldn't update the take profit, now it's going to immediately update the take profit for you in real time. So that's going to be super cool. On top of that, we have now made it to where the weekly goal is more precise. And what I mean by that is we have the reset buttons that work. Anytime the weekly goal hits, it triggers globally. We were noticing that there was an issue where if you had put, let's say, a different weekly goal on one chart, it would only trigger on that chart. So we made it global. We also made the equity protector safer. And what I mean by that is this is always going to work. We had an incident. We still haven't been able to figure it out. Maybe it was a MetaTrader 4 edge case, but somebody got a brand new BPS and they were in like $20 drawdown, you know, nothing crazy. But it closed their trades and we couldn't figure out why, being they weren't anywhere near an equity protector. So we just added another global setting to that for an extra verification check, global extra safety check. And then on top of that, I believe those are the most important things that were being fixed and identified here. And then in the GearBox manager, you guys probably saw that in the update we rolled out this weekend, you had the starting lot size and the max pairs feature. The newest manager update is actually increasing all GBP and Euro AUD gears to 12 on all setups to allow for larger moves. And these are the updates we are rolling out tonight to the GearBox. So you'll have these updates rolled out tonight once market closes. So this will all be immediately rolled out to you guys so that you have it. No updates on Sunday or Saturday. Our new protocol is we do updates on Friday night. If they're not ready to go out Friday night, you're not going to get an update. So I'm going to keep reading through the questions. I'll leave this up for a minute. All right. Rod said, I'm in 11 trades and 3 pairs. Is that number of trades typical? I'm using Sniper, Ghost plus Real. Rod, you know, I'd have to say that is pretty typical, especially with the way the market conditions have been. I'm not sure what pairs you're in, if you're in NZD JPY or AUD USD or some of the ones that have moved a bit here the past week, then that would make sense. Stain said, is it normal to have 175 TP with double TP on gear 3 entry? Stain, that is not normal. Now, if that trade is before, that was taken before the update that was made on Monday, then again, that had to do with the previous version where it had some bug TPs, which that'll be addressed with 8.8, because all you have to do is toggle your TP setting back and forth when you load the new update on, and it'll address any TPs that weren't set properly. And Stain, great question. He says, is it possible to add into the GearBox manager on what day you change the gear? Stain, what I can actually tell you is we are working to make the GearBox manager have every single setting within it for the most part, so that people will be able to customize more than just their max pairs and starting lot. We want them to be able to customize all of the GearBox settings to make their experience easier for setting up all the charts. Dewald here asked a great question. He said, I start GearBox on Sunday. I have 3 questions. Is there a link to download the file showing the different gears per pair? Dewald, I believe you are referring to, let me pull it up here. I believe you're referring to the gear level data. And if you are referring to this, I'm actually going to have added to the EA Academy section. I have a bunch of videos I'm actually filming today to add to the EA Academy section for GearBox and also some of our other product offerings such as Einstein and Alexander. But this will get added to the EA Academy as well. I have a few more GearBox educational videos coming today that will be getting added. So that'll be there, but you can take a screenshot now too, so you have it. Dewald said, do you have FTMO tested pairs and settings? Dewald, I have not had enough time to really focus on finding some fine-tuned FTMO settings. That is on my list of things to do. It is something I want to do, so it will be getting done. But right now I've been putting all my focus into making sure the product's perfect first before I start trying to fine tune, you know, any other extracurricular things such as FTMO. And you asked for a 100K account, what would be the starting lot size and how many pairs open and open trades at the same time? For that, I would say refer back to the actual videos. I can't recommend anything, but you can see based on data, my strategies, the manager, kind of how I'm playing with things and I'm running it. And then again, GearBox is super customizable. I know that there are people probably on this call that they they use a form of the sniper swing settings, but they put their own twist on things. And you know, I've heard some stories of customers that are doing they're very hands-on. Keep in mind, these are not hands-off users when I tell you what I'm about to tell you right now, but there are some customers and users of GearBox that I've seen doing 8 to 20% a week, and that just sounds absolutely insane. But please note, these people are very hands-on. They pay attention to all the news. They're using GearBox more like a manual trading software where they're customizing it constantly and making changes. As I mentioned, they are very hands-on with it, and they are using higher risk, but they're comfortable with that. And the point is, I designed GearBox for people like that, right? All these strategies I'm sharing with you guys are to give people a crash course into using GearBox, understanding the strategy, seeing success with it, and then you can get unique and creative with it if you want, because once you understand it, you can control all your risk and all your settings. When closing a pair, is it okay to do from your phone? Will another trade come along to replace it? Ashley, this is a two-part question. So I want to actually go ahead and give a visual. So let's take a visual here. You see we have AUD JPY open right here. All right. If I was to just close this trade right here, it's going to want to open another one because I didn't close the full sequence. So if you're on your phone and you just start closing a trade, like you see, this is a sequence. There are two trades on AUD JPY. You shouldn't just go close this one. It's a balancing act, right? They're working together. So unless you're closing the whole sequence, yes, it's immediately going to open another trade. Now, if you close the whole sequence, then what it's going to do, depending on if your max pairs was reached and what next trades are available to enter, it would deploy another trade based on you closing out of this and freeing up a max pair. So in this case, this account, you see I have 3 max pairs trading. If I was to close out of AUD JPY right now and just close these out for break even, chances are I would immediately take another trade on a different pair. So it's a two-part question. The question for you is, if you close out a profitable trade, will it immediately open another trade on that same currency pair? Yes, if you don't close out the whole sequence. Now, if you close out the whole sequence, could it also potentially open another trade on a different currency pair if your gears entry were met? Yes. So I hope that answers that question for you, Ashley. I see you also asked, what happens when you tweak the settings at the weekend when you have open trades? No problem with tweaking your settings when you have open trades. It'll immediately take effect of your new settings and continue to manage your old trades with the new parameters you've input. So no problem with that. Anonymous attendee asked me, what should be the average pips on each take profit strategy? I only ask because I've got an account that real trades only, its TP is 57. I have another double is 60. So anonymous attendee, as you see here, 9988 addresses real trades TP. That you did catch that was an issue. So that will be corrected here in the update rolling out tonight, where real trades TP will be much smaller. Those should be around 30, double TP should be around 60, and Ghost plus Real depends on how many levels of cost averages you have. That's not as easy as just stating a number. Is it possible to get an overview in GearBox where you know how many trades are ready to enter in Swing or Sniper if you have max open trades? One in profit, not hit. You could close and allow. Alexander, I like what you're asking me. So I want you guys to understand Alexander's question here, because this is actually how our MAV technology works. So Alexander was asking if his 3 max pairs was reached, could he see what other pairs are ready for entry to make a manual decision to close another pair out to get into the next trade? Okay, so this can work 2 different ways. You actually already have this functionality on both international and MAV, but it works a little differently. So I want to address it. Let me spell international, right? All right, so first thing, on your international version, we can see that I have my 3 reached here. Now, again, this is tedious, but let's say you've just been stuck in some trades and you're ready to get in a new one. You could go open each of these charts and you could see what's available, right? I can see I'm going to buy 2 on EuroCAD, right? I can go to GBP NZD here and I can see that I'm going to buy 3. I'm getting closer to my entry since I use swing settings on this account. And that's what you would do. You would be able to go in here and you can look at your gears entry and see how close it is to taking a trade on any of these pairs, right? So you do have the display. You can see Euro AUD. Yeah, right here, Euro AUD is getting near, for me, what looks like a great buy. and you can see that here as well. And in that case, yeah, I could close out AUD JPY right now for a little profit, and I could potentially be ready to take a Euro AUD trade. So you can see that on the manual version. Now, if you're using the on the international version, if you're using the MAV version, our manual approval version, what will actually happen is you will still get notifications. So so let's put this here, international view gears display on UI. Now for MAV, you will actually get notifications for every trade opportunity even after your max pairs has been reached. So let's say your 3 max pairs are open, but a trade alert is still available. The MAV version will still send you an approval. Just if you approve it, it won't actually immediately enter that trade. It'll wait until one closes out. And then if that trade's still valid, it'll enter your pre-approved next trade opportunity. But why this is cool is if you're using the MAV version, you'll actually get a notification as well anytime there is a trade opportunity available, even after your max pairs is reached. So great question, Alexander, and I'm glad we got to address that so people have a better understanding too of how they can, really use GearBox to the fullest. Alex Fontaine, I'm using double TP as my take profit settings. I noticed that when it takes multiple trades in one pair that all the take profits are the same. Yes, the take profits are actually all supposed to be the same. When they aren't the same, that was actually a bug, Alex. So you'll notice that the TP should always be the same moving forward. And as I mentioned, 9983, which was from Sunday, addressed that. Any trades opened on the prior version, you might have seen different TPs sometimes. Which again, the 998 update will also fix any old TPs that were messed up and automatically change them by just toggling the TP settings. So if you have any of those old lingering ones that don't have matching TPs, that'll be addressed as soon as we roll out the update here tonight and when the market opens. Jenna, great question. She asked, hi, Tyler, I'm running on the 4-hour time frame this week, which seems to be going well. How much more risky is the 4-hour compared to the daily? Is it just less accurate? Jenna, it's not that it's just less accurate. It's also that you're more likely to be playing both sides of the market, meaning you are more likely to get into more trades. But just as anything, if the market has a large trending move one way, and you were playing both sides of the market, that could also potentially get you in a risky situation. All right. So, what determines actual TP level, or what is it based on, for example? So again, this depends then, trader, on your TP setting. If you're using double TP, it's going to be looking to catch at least 60 pips. If you are profitable pips, that is, right? Overall, if you're using real trades double TP, it's looking to catch about 30. Or real trades only TP, it's looking to catch about 30 pips, which you'll see in the 9988 update. And if you're using Ghost plus Real, that's going to vary. It's going to calculate your total drawdown in the Ghost server and in the real trades to mathematically make enough that it would have been able to break even on the initial Ghost trades. Yes, Zen Trader, you said, I notice every time an update is pushed that when I come back to the VPS and look the order of my pairs, they're all scrambled and I have to reorder them, which takes some time. And I have to wait over the weekend because it resets gears, of course, when I have to reorder them and put GearBox in. So you should notice, Zen Trader, things should become much smoother with all the new updates. The problem, though, currently is, again, that these VPSs are a little under processing power. And GearBox is very intensive. It is running a lot of charts as well. If you have multiple terminals, GearBox, or you're also running a ton of other EAs, anytime that VPS reboots, it is sending, it's basically attempting to open all the charts on all the other EAs, all the MetaTrader 4 instances. And that can be processing heavy. And sometimes you'll notice GearBox won't load on a few charts. We are aware of that, and we do plan to offer a more advanced and robust VPS solution in the very near future. We're just working on all the final specs to that. So super exciting. Would you mind sharing the link to your MyFX book page to follow it? DWald, I'm actually starting to publicize more of these MyFX books. I recently just made these two public, as you can see, and I'm going to continue to make all of them public and publish them into my channel very shortly. I think we're going to have a Google Doc where people will be able to publish all of their GearBox FX books into this one Google Doc, so people have them for tracking. So I'm going to work on that today as well, and gathering some other users' FX books, and anyone who wants to submit theirs, we'll talk about that as well. But we do want to share a lot of that. Zen Trader said, for feedback on my settings over the last couple weeks, 40K live account, sniper, 6 max pairs, 0.15 or 0.015 per lot. A little on the more, I would consider that a moderate to aggressive strategy, Zen Trader. He said, so far I have been trading this about 2 weeks and has had a 16% drawdown last week, and balance is showing 3.7% so far in realized profit. I know it's more moderate setting, but I want to try this to see what kind of DD versus profit would develop, keep you posted. But yes, stuck a few trades for a few weeks. Then that is correct. Now I can tell you when those swing, it's going to be very nice. You've already banked 3.7%, but let me tell you, when those other trades swing, you're going to be a very happy guy. And I've seen it many times, over the months I've been using GearBox. There's been other times I've gotten stuck in trades for just as long. Anonymous attendee, I stopped trading this week because GearBox was approving trades on its own without me approving them. Has this glitch been fixed? Yes, that was actually something to mention. Some MAV users, it was a very small amount. We did explore some data, but also in the MAV updates, there's actually two more things I have here. MAV updates. One, no more auto approval. This happened for a very small amount of people. We looked at the servers and we don't know what caused it, but a few accounts were sometimes automatically approving trades. So we immediately said we need to fix that. But most of them were still sending notifications. So that is fixed. The other thing we fixed is some people noticed that auto change of gears on Wednesday. Let's say you had a level 3 trade open, but your gears raised to above 3 on Wednesday. Then you got another alert for a level 4 when it should have just automatically taken it. That has been fixed. So it'll continue to take the rest of the sequence on its own without alerting you of another approval to continue on a sequence that already existed. So that was also fixed. No more approval for higher levels. This has been fixed. So I'm going to roll this all out in the GearBox Telegram too shortly. But so also those MAV updates, those have been fixed. So that is good. Mohammed said, I'm not getting notifications in the back office. Mohammed, chances are you might have experienced this same issue with the auto approval, where it might be taking a trade without sending a notification. Anonymous attendee, can you add real TP only to the GearBox manager? Great question. We also do plan to do that as well. We're looking to add all the settings from GearBox into the manager here in the future. We're working on it very heavily. It's actually one of the top priorities, and we actually already did build every setting into our version right now. It just doesn't look so pretty, but it is working and we are testing it. And we're can work on trying to get that rolled out in the next week or two if we can. Again, don't shoot the messenger if it doesn't happen, but it will happen. It's just maybe in the next week or two, could be longer, but I will tell you, we already have it done and functional, and we're just kind of doing our back end testing now. Can you increase stop loss on individual trades? I tried increasing the stop loss, but it kept resetting the original one. It hit and then hit the stop loss on the 2 trades in that pair. Alex Fontaine, that's a great question. I'm going to add in my notes here. I'm going to add future versions global stop loss change. So what this would mean is, let's say you had the 500 pip stop loss set or whatever your stop loss was, and you wanted to update it. You could just update it on the chart, and it should update it in all the trades. So it currently doesn't work like that, but we'll make it work like that, just like we just did with the TP setting. So similar to new TP update. Yeah, so we will work on that. Great question, Alex, and I will put that right on top of my programmers list as well. Daniel Tour, if I click the pause button, will it pause just that pair from opening new trades, or will it pause the whole bot from taking any new trades? Daniel, this is a great question because it actually doesn't do either of those things. When you hit pause, what will actually happen with the GearBox is it'll pause new trends. So if you already have trades open, it's going to continue to take new trades based on your parameters until it finishes that sequence. All that pause button does is it pauses new trends, meaning that it'll stop any new trades from being opened on that specific pair. If you wanted to completely pause the entire software from taking any new trades, you would just click the auto trading off button up top. But if you want to pause individual pairs from getting into new sequences, then you can hit it on the chart. But this will not pause new trades. It'll pause new sequences. Big difference. Robert said, if you go in and add an additional pair, will it delete ghost trades for that week? Robert, if you add an additional pair, it will not delete ghost trades for any other pairs. No, it would only, the only time it would delete is if you tell it to delete at the start of the week or on a reset of your MT4 or on a reset of the EA if you redrag the EA onto that currency pair and took it off. But if you're just adding an additional pair, it's not going to affect any of the other pairs ghost trades. No. Anonymous attendee, what is the CN after your list of currency pairs and what is the significance? I've never seen this. Anonymous attendee, to answer your question, this is just the broker I'm using and the prefix that they have at the end of their pairs. It's just to know what feed a customer is on. So this is a feed from this broker. All brokers have different feeds. Some brokers you might see .fx, .pro, some of them you might not see any prefix here. So no significance to that. That's just a broker thing. Jake said, if, for example, like now reaching the end of the week before market close and I've got a CAD CHF and a for profit, would you just close it and let the next pair open fresh when market opens and leave ones in DD continuing to run? Jake, I don't know what size your account is. I don't know if that $4 trade is a joke or if that's a lot of profit for an account. If it's a $500 account or a $250 account, a $4 profit's massive. A $1,000 account, a $4 profit's still great. Now, if you got a 10K account and you're asking me, should you close out the $4 profit? My answer is going to be a little bit different. So I guess that depends on your account size and, is that $4 profit significant to the account size you're trading? Because if it's not, and then I'd maybe even leave it open and let CAD CHF fulfill its move, right? I'd maybe look at the chart and say, do I agree with this trade? If it's a buy or a sell and you look at the chart, is it at the top or the bottom of the channel, or is it in the middle of it? And that might tell you more of what you want to know. Zen Trader, when can we pay for an upgraded VPS, or when is that going to be available? Zen, we are working heavily on that. As soon as we finalize the specs that we need for more robust options, we will begin to work on pricing, adding it in, and making those available to people. But it is on the top of our list, I can tell you that. Daniel Tour, if I'm in max pairs trading and I'm looking to close trades, how do you set it up so that when a TP is hit, it won't open a new available trade? Okay. Well, Daniel, there's two parts to this. You can either hit pause on all the charts, or you could go to all the charts and use the manager and decrease your max pairs trading. So let's say you have 3 max pairs trading, and when that one closes, you don't want it to open another one. then you would just go into your loader or manager and reset up everything with 2 max pairs trading. That's how I would handle that personally. Philip Howard, great question. He says, is there any way for me to keep the auto approval bug? My account's been on fire with Swing Max 6 plus the bug. I love it, Philip. Unfortunately, there's no way for you to keep it. We can't offer you that. I'm glad you had a great week though, and you see the power of GearBox. You just got to approve those trades. So, only change. Girvo said, if our 3 pairs are reached and we want to allow 1 more pair for the international version, can that be done without restarting the ghost pairs? Girvo, this is a great question, and here's how I'm going to answer it for you. To my understanding, max pair setting is global. And what that means is if you simply just chose 1 currency pair and raised it from 3 to 4, it should apply upon your entire account, meaning that you would only have to actually reset 1 currency pair's ghost trades to get it to take effect on all of your account and deploy another trade. So I hope that answers your question and that gives you a little cheat code. Now, that only works with increasing it. That doesn't work with decreasing it. That's an important thing I need to mention right now. If you increase 1 chart to 4, yes, it'll take another trade. Now, if you decrease 1 to 2, it's going to look at the next highest one, which is 3, and it's still going to keep 3. So in order to decrease it, you have to do it on every chart. But in order to increase it, you can do it on 1 chart. So I hope that answers that question for you. Daniel, to pause new sequences for the whole account, not just 1 pair, you would have to click pause on all open charts or just turn off auto trading entirely. Both would have a very similar effect. If you're looking to pause it for the whole account and have it not take any new trades, then maybe just hit auto trading off for now until you feel more comfortable. Now, also, Daniel, remember, you also have another way of doing this. There is a balance protection setting in the software where when balance protection is activated, it will not take any new trades either. Which is currently by default in these strategies at 25% drawdown unless you've changed it. But you could also decrease that if you're uncomfortable or increase that to your liking. So I'm not sure where you're sitting right now that has you uncomfortable that you want to pause new sequences. But just remember your balance protection setting will also stop any new trades from being taken when it is reached. It will not close your trades, but it will stop new trades from being taken. Alexander, great idea. He said another idea, future version, GearBox and Super Sniper allow 3 pairs, and then Super 4 to 6, allowing lower the risk after Wednesday. So I see what you're saying. You're saying use GearBox and regular Sniper the beginning of the week, and you're saying Super Sniper later in the week and allow more pairs to potentially get more trades. Kind of cool idea. I like it. I see where you're going with it. I'll look at what I can do. The big thing we're looking at trying to figure out is how to make it to where the ghost trades only reset when they need to. That is something else we're working on to make it not reset anytime you hit OK on the settings, where only certain settings would reset them. So we are working on that too. Now, let me get back into the chat. I believe we have some more questions. Vincent, I'm not sure I'm understanding your question. You said, can you explain lot size decision? Sometimes 0.01, other 0.02, 0.03. I'm not sure I'm understanding your question because whatever your starting lot size is entered is what it should enter at. And the only time it would increase is when it cost averages. So if you're asking about cost averaging, I think you should go back to maybe understanding the software strategy a little bit inside the original AP Academy and watch the strategy video. Rod, I'm really promoting GearBox. Can you do a short promo video specifically for GearBox for like we do for affiliates? Rod, absolutely. I'd love to make some more promo videos and things for GearBox. Whatever you need, we'll get it approved through compliance. I'm looking to create much more GearBox marketing material as well. I know the company is as well. Tyler, Thomas Love said, Tyler, you'll have to open a course of terminology to clarify the new people to new people, expressions like trades, trends, sequences, and differences. Tomislav, I'm glad you said that. I'm actually going to add a whole section in the EA Academy. Susan got with me, who's helping with all of our education. And, she had many of these feedback ideas as well for me to, help with having a cheat sheet with terminology and different things like that for people to refer to and brand new people to better understand what we mean when we say a trend, a sequence, things like that. So absolutely great feedback as well. We're going to be adding that. Clara just said, regarding the question about no new trades being taken when equity protection kicks in, no new trades means no new sequences open, correct? So it'll still continue to manage the open ones. No, so Clara, so first you said equity protection. Okay, Clara, I need you to understand equity protection closes all your trades. There's two different things. There's balance protection and there's equity protection. Your equity protection is going to actually close all trades. That's your max equity risk setting. Whatever you set that at, it by default's at 100%, meaning it's not going to close out anything. Now, if you set that to 50%, that means a 50% drawdown, it's closing all your trades. You set it 30%, 30% drawdown, it's closing all your trades. What I'm talking about is balance protection. And balance protection does not close trades, but it also will not continue to take any new trades either. It'll continue to manage the old trades, but it will not take any new trades. When balance protection kicks in, it stops taking any new trades until the drawdown or the value is less than what you input. So it'll simply continue to manage them, but it will not take another. But it looks like that is all of the questions I see for today. If anyone has any last minute questions, I'd love to get into them and talk a little bit more about them, understand some of this. So let me know if you guys have any more questions. If not, thank you guys so much for taking your time. We've been on this call for an hour today. It's always a great time when we get on here for an hour, and the questions you guys come to the table with are always super insightful. So, it helps me, as always, become better, improve the product, improve everything that I need to do to improve your experience, right? My goal is to constantly improve all of your experiences as traders, improve the software constantly, and just know that we're going to continue to advance GearBox. And my goal is to continue to make it into a product that has lower drawdown, higher profitability, right? My focus is always decrease risk, increase profitability, decrease risk, increase profitability. And that's going to continue to be the focus here, and giving you guys as much control over your risk and your trading strategies as possible. But with that being said, thank you guys once again for tuning in, and we'll see you on the next one. Have a wonderful day, everyone.